Hi fishy folks, and happy Sunday fun day to you. Hope everyone had a great Saturday down here in South Jersey. It was fabulous, great weather. Anyway, today's video is going to be talking about how to pick breeders, either for a specific breeding project, to make mutt guppies, for your ponds, all those things I'm going to be talking about. And before I go ahead and get into the nooks and crannies of the video, do me a favor, grab a snack and a beverage. Let me know in the comments down below what said snack and said beverage is. And then go ahead and obliterate the subscription button if you haven't done so already. Gently boop the notification bell. And when we're all done, go ahead and check out michaelsfishroom.com, which is my website where you can buy these guppies and plecos that I breed down here in my fish room. All right, now that that's all squared away, boxes checked off, everything ticked off, we can start with the video. So how do you pick breeders? Well, let me give you a little bit of background. Yesterday was gorgeous, and I was outside working on my new pond setup. You're gonna love it. Hopefully a video of that will be out next week sometime. I'm doing a little bit different this year, so we'll see how that goes. And as I'm working, I'm trying to figure out, you know, how I'm gonna pick guppies. And I know I'm gonna do mutts in the new setup, but I'm going to have some additional tubs out there that I'm probably going to try to, you know, breed other strains of guppies I have in the fish room, because as you all know, breeding for profit is my #1 goal. So more tanks breeding equals more profit, plus outside, less food cost, no electricity, no heat, no gas, you know, for heat. So it definitely does make things easier. So I was thinking about picking mutts, and I mean, mutts are fairly easy to pick. You just get any guppies you want, throw them in a tub, and boom, mutts. But I've picked guppies before in a store for breeding projects, and I want to go over what I look for in a guppy. So if I'm looking to breed a specific line of guppy, doesn't matter what it is, I immediately look at the female first. And let me give you an example. Here's a blue neon female that I got from my local fish store. I don't know if you can see that, but see how ginormous she is? That definitely was a plus for me. And her tail is fantastic. She's being shy now. So I look at the female. We'll talk about the whole tank in a second, but I look at the female. I look at the tail size and shape and color of the female. And also the dorsal fin. You know, is the dorsal fin bland? Does it have some color in it? I sort of go by a rule of thumb. If the female is good looking, the male is going to be spectacular. Now, you can have bland females and still spectacular males, but it's not as normal, if you will. Let's talk about the tank. If I don't know the local fish store, I probably go in and I observe all their fish tanks and the staff for about half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Not an hour, that's too long, that's a little creepy, but maybe about half hour. And I just look at the tanks and see how the fish are behaving. I look for some signs. Are the fish breathing fast? Like, she's breathing very fast, but she's stressed the hell out in this little dip and pour. Are they swimming normally? Are they rubbing up against things? Do I see disease, ick, or tail rot, which I have seen in fish stores? I'm fine. Sometimes I ask the employees dumb questions to see if what kind of answer they give. Can I keep an arowana in a 30 long? Sure, they stay small. You know, stupid questions like that. Setup questions to see if they're knowledgeable. Now, if I'm at my local fish store, I ask how long they've had the fish and which distributor they've gotten them from, because he'll tell me all that information. And they'll also tell me, don't buy them. But, you know, we got in 50 and 10 died right away, and we keep losing them every couple days. Don't buy them. They'll tell me that. I don't think most fish stores would tell you that, but let's look at another example. So here is a red dragon guppy. Let's see if that helps. See how big her tail is? I would use her as a breeder just because of that tail. Now, a little interesting note about this guppy. The males are red, the females are blue, and that's just how it is. And that's genetics, folks. I don't know the actual genetics behind it. I'm sure somebody, maybe Chewy LTD, will comment about the genetics of the guppy, but that's the guppy. So that tail, come on, yeah, that tail would make her a breeder for me. In addition, she looks quite healthy. She's a little bit younger than the other guppy I showed you. That's another thing. We'll get to that in a second. She's a little bit younger than the other guppy, but I would definitely use her as a breeder. Now, when it comes to females, if you can confirm they're virgin females, that's the best one to get. As people have said 1,000 times on the internet, so therefore it must be true, guppies can store sperm forever. I don't know if it's forever. I'm not a scientist. I'm a dumb guy with a camera. I find that at least 2 to 3 generations will be sperm from the previous donor, if you know what I'm saying. That said, if you can find virgins, virgins are definitely the best, because you know there's no other seed in there than the one you want to have put in there. Okay. So that's how I pick females. Males are pretty easy. The best looking male. And that's easy to show somebody what the best looking male looks like. So I picked the best looking male. And after I watch the tank for a while, if I'm really looking for a breeding project, I'll pick the fish I want. Some fish stores don't like that. Some fish stores say, oh, you can't do that. I don't know. But most fish stores will for sure let you pick the ones you want. Now, breeding guppies is fairly easy. Pretty much 2 females, 1 male, hiding spot, clean water, good food. Boom, you'll have babies. Sometimes people say, my guppies aren't breeding. Why? A question like that has so many answers, but typically I find there's 2 separate things going on. One, they are breeding. You don't have enough hiding spots. Fry are tender and delicious. They're getting eaten before you see them. That usually happens when I hear, my guppies dropped 2 fry last night. No, they probably dropped 20 or 10 or 15 or more than 2. They just got eaten. Tender and delicious. Ask me how I know. No, I don't know. The other thing is hardness. Guppies like moderately hard water. Now, will they survive in soft water? Yes. Will they breed in soft water? Maybe. But they typically like hard water. So if your water is on the softer side, you got to do something to harden it up if you want to breed guppies. I don't recommend chemicals. I usually recommend something natural like crushed coral, but that's just me. My water is moderately hard. In some of my guppy tanks, I've even added crushed coral to make it harder. Guppy breeding setup. Let me show you the guppy breeding setup in case you haven't seen one of the 10 videos I've made on how to breed guppies. I'll put links to those somewhere in this general area for you to check out if you want. So if you haven't done so already, grab a snack and a beverage. If you have a snack and a beverage and need to refill, now's the time. Pause the video, go check it out, come back, and I'll show you a guppy breeding setup. Alright, fishy folks, we're here at the Blue Neon Breeding for Profit tank, and it is the typical Michael's Fish Room setup. I mean, this isn't really my setup, this is just how I learned to do it. You know, I watched some other YouTubers and did some research on the interwebs, imagine that, and boom, this is what works for me. So we have lots of Java moss, which provides hiding places for the fry, as well as biofilm and other microorganisms for fry to graze on all day, and a sponge filter, probably a sponge filter for a much bigger tank, but you know, I don't really think it matters that much, and my auto water change system, 10 to 15% water changes daily. Now, if you look way in the back and you're a detective, you can see there's a heater. That heater's not plugged in. Before I had my gas heater in the fish room, I used to heat individual tanks and it got really expensive, so we installed a gas heater. Still need to insulate the fish room, but that's a whole nother project. This tank also does double duty. I don't know if you can see on the bottom there are some albino longfin bristlenose plecos that I'm growing out to hopefully get breeders to. So, like I said, double duty. That's pretty much a breeding tank setup that I use. If you can't find Java moss, you can use guppy grass. I find guppy grass doesn't do that well in my tanks. It sort of disintegrates after a short time, a couple weeks. I know super breeder Doug has the same problem with his guppy grass, and I wasn't sure if it was because, you know, he drives a Nissan, and so that means everything he touches sucks, but I don't really know. Anyway, you can see in this tank there are a few different generations of fry. I count at least 3 generations that I can see, including a fairly new batch that I'm looking at in the back. Sometimes in tanks like this, I have to take the Java moss out maybe once a month, sort of rinse it in some clean water. When I say clean water, all my water is dechlorinized. Dechlorinized? I don't know if that's a word, but all my water goes through my water change filters, so I don't have to add anything to it. It takes care of the chlorine. But you should rinse it off in case some mulm builds up in there, or, you know, something else. I happen to love mulm, as you know, hashtag mulm for life. But what it does is it weighs the Java moss down and makes it a little bit too dense for the fry to go in and out of. So I kind of clean it every month or so. And that's it. That's the breeding for profit setup. And I'm going to use the same system in my tubs and ponds, which I will show you shortly. Guys, if you have any questions, certainly leave them in the comments below. If you want to email me, my email address is in the description. If you want to buy my guppies, check out my website. And of course, if you're looking for food, check out supercichlids.com for all your fish food needs. That does it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope you learned something. And if not, hey, that happens sometimes. Have a great day. Hi, fishy folks, and happy Sunday fun day to you. Guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about how to pick breeders for a breeding project, or just for your fish room and you want to breed some guppies, not specifically line breed, or you want to make mutt guppies. So do me a favor, before we get started with the nooks and crannies of the video, go grab a beverage and a snack, and of course let me know in the comments below what that snack and beverage is. And don't forget to smash that subscription button if you haven't done so already. Gently boop the notification bell. And check out my website, michaelsfishroom.com. Now that we have all that squared away, taken care of, checked off, let's talk about the video. So, yesterday was Saturday, and it was beautiful out, and I have both my sons home, my older son's home, who cares? You don't give a damn, do you? All right, fishy folks, here we're at the Blue Neon Breeding for Profit tank. I'm fine. I'm going to start over.